Welcome to Kevin Deal Photography, where I take you on my journey through photography. On today's episode, we're going to be doing an in-depth review of the new Canon DM-E1D microphone. Welcome to today's episode. If you're not familiar with Kevin Deal Photography, I do gear reviews, I do tips, techniques, and tutorials, and I dive into film. If any of that sounds appealing to you, click the subscribe button below. So the Canon DM-E1D is a shotgun microphone. That in and of itself is not unique. There's an oversaturated market of shotgun microphones for cameras ranging from many different price points. So what makes this microphone so special? So here's my R5. It's one of the top of the line Canon cameras out there on the market right now, and I have my Shure VP83, which is an excellent microphone. But here's the thing. There's an inherent issue with microphone designs. They have these cables sticking out the side, these 1/8" cables. You gotta open your flap up, then you gotta plug your 1/8" cable into the side. It's also hardwired into the microphone, so if something starts to short out, you have a paperweight. Now you have this flip out screen and you got this cable sticking out the side and this little flap is in the way. And when I record myself for my YouTube channels, I can't see my entire shot, and that's kind of annoying because now all of a sudden your camera is out of focus because it's autofocusing over your shoulder because the cable stuck out and touched the screen, and now all of a sudden the focus point moved off. So this is the traditional shotgun microphone setup that you're used to seeing, you've become accustomed to, but there has to be a better way. In comes the DM-E1D. So I want to tell you right off the bat, if you're watching this and you have an R5, an R6, an R, or an RP, the DM-E1D will not work with your camera. I saw some 1-star reviews of this camera and I was like, oh man, I'm wondering if it has really bad audio quality. No, the 1-star ratings were from people who owned R5s and R6s and R's and RPs and didn't read the fine print. So what makes this microphone so special? The R3, the R7, the R10, and the R5C all have the new Smart Hot Shoe. You see these little gold terminals right here? These aren't on your cameras if you're the R5, R6, or RP owner. These new terminals are very special in that when you put this on top of your new Smart Hot Shoe, it sends battery power to the microphone from your camera's battery. It also sends audio to your camera from the microphone. So no need for an 1/8" cable sticking out the side, no need for a AA battery. That's one less thing I have to carry in my bag. I already carry enough batteries as it is. AA batteries just make my life more difficult. So those two features alone are very appealing to me. Another really cool feature is if you look at the back, there's this button right here. When you push this button, your audio menu appears. So you have a dedicated button now on your camera that talks to your camera and tells it to pull up the audio settings. A lot of you videographers right now are probably having a light bulb go off over your head because you probably have a dedicated button for quick access to your audio settings. Now you have one built into your microphone. That button you were using for your audio, you can now program to something else. That's pretty cool. Now, for all of you who are R3, R7, R10, and R5C owners, you know what this guy is right here. And a lot of you have probably already lost yours. This is what goes over the terminals for your Smart Hot Shoe. I lost mine when I was on vacation in the Southwest because I can't really find a convenient place to put it. Unfortunately, Canon wasn't savvy enough to find a compartment to store this in, maybe near your battery compartment or something like that. For those of you who have battery grips, you know that Canon allows you to take your battery door off, your battery cover door off, and put it inside the grip, which is a really cool storage spot for it. I wish that they'd have a place where you could store this. So one thing that I figured out is when you take the microphone out of the box, it comes with this really cool cover for your terminals to protect them. The problem with the cover for the top of the camera is that it's black and the insides of most of your backpacks are dark, probably black, and it's super easy to lose this. But I found that if I store it inside the other cover for the other end of it, I can go put it somewhere in my bag. You still need to put it somewhere secure, but at least they're together and at least it's easier to find than if it were just black. So don't throw this away. Maybe you'll have a better solution than I will, but this is what I'm using for now. It also comes with the windscreen, which improves your audio quality when there's high winds around. That's pretty much it though. You get the microphone, you get the windscreen, and then you get the terminal cover. So I spared you an unboxing video that, you know, people do for like 6 minutes. That's it. The other thing of note is that if you're used to using a speed light, the way it fastens and unfastens onto the hot shoe is just that simple, you know, move it to the left, move it to the right clip that you're used to seeing on your speed light. So pretty industry standard way of connecting to a hot shoe there. And that's really it for the overview. Let's dive into what happens when you push the button on the back. All right, so you click on the button and you've got sound recording. You can do manual, auto, disable. You have your recording level. You can, of course, take that up and down. You have your wind filter, enable, disable. You have your attenuator, enable, disable. And then you also have this area right here, which is important, your mic direction. So if you're shooting birds or something like that, something far away, you can put it in shotgun mode. If you're doing a normal stereo recording, you'd use your 90-degree. And then if you're recording like your kids' ensemble, maybe they're in choir, you want to get the entire ensemble, you're in a cafeteria and you need to get a really wide pickup pattern, you can go down to 120 degrees in stereo. And that's really it. Your camera may vary on this depending on if you have an R3, an R5C. They may have additional settings. I don't know. I only own the R7. But this is what you see when you push the button on the back of the DM-E1D. So let's do a comparison between the Canon DM-E1D and the Shure VP83. Right now, you're listening to the Canon DM-E1D. Listen for the intelligibility, listen to hear the fidelity in my voice, and tell me what you think. Now you're listening to the Shure VP83. Listen to the audio quality. It's $80 less. Tell me what you think about the audio quality of the Shure versus the Canon. Okay, so I have my DM-E1D on. I have it in the 90-degree stereo mode. I don't have it in shotgun mode because I'm only 2 feet away from the mic. There's really no reason to have a microphone in shotgun mode unless you're far away and you're trying to pick sound from a very narrow spot. But this is the way it sounds. I'm rambling a little bit because I want to hear intelligibility. I want to hear my consonants sound, see how I'm going to approach the EQ on it. But now I want to take this microphone to a more problematic situation. Let's take him to a park near my house where there's a lot of wind and just, you know, rustling of leaves and trucks going by and all that. Okay, so I'm here at a park near my house. I've taken the wind filter off because I want you to hear how the microphone sounds in shotgun mode without a wind filter. The point of today's test is to show you the audio quality, let you hear it, as well as listen to what the different patterns do. So shotgun is an extremely tight pattern. It's picking me up standing about 15, 20 feet away from the microphone and camera. As I move to the right and the left, you should hear me start to drop off pretty drastically because it's just picking up what is right in front of it. So this is the test of using the microphone in shotgun mode with no wind filter at all. So now I'm doing the test at 90 degrees with no wind filter on. There's a truck off to my left, off to the camera right. You can hear what it sounds like at 90 degrees when I'm talking to you, and then there's sound kind of off camera, how that's going to work with this. Okay, so this is 120 degree pickup pattern with the wind filter on. Let's see if it makes any difference whatsoever to have the wind filter or the dead cat on. As a reminder, since this is 120 degrees, I'm walking around. You should be able to hear me somewhat consistently as I'm moving from right to left to right, and hopefully the audio quality is to the standard that we're looking for. Okay, so this is 90 degree stereo. The wind is blowing, the windscreen is on. So let's see how good of a job it does. With it being 90 degrees, I can go a little bit outside of the microphone, but as I get a little further to the outside, my sound should drop off just quite a bit because it's not 120 degrees. But this is your kind of normal pickup pattern for a microphone. You typically see a cardioid microphone pattern. It kind of picks up in a 90-ish degree angle as well, which is what we're doing right now. So this is kind of, you're recording your B-roll, your standard B-roll, you're holding the camera, you're walking around. This would be the setting that you'd probably want to use. Now let's put it in a shotgun microphone with the windscreen. Okay, this is shotgun, so the tightest pattern. As I move off, it should drop off quite a bit. That's just the way it picks up, but it should get me more from a distance. So that's the whole point of having a shotgun microphone. And you know, there's a raven a crow, yakking over there, and maybe it picked up the crow, maybe it doesn't, maybe it's just picking me up, but the windscreen is on. And so as you can hear, that's the wind. I probably will have to adjust the EQ because it's a little muffled. It's like kind of putting your hand over your mouth when you talk, when you put these windscreens on. So I'm guessing that my EQ is gonna have to be a little different for the footage that I'm using with the windscreen versus the footage that I used without the windscreen. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to do this audio quality test. Let's go hear what it sounds like in post-production. So now that I've had a little bit of time with the DM-E1D, what are my first impressions as an audio engineer? Yes, I said as an audio engineer. Those of you who watch this channel know that I do photography and video, but I've actually been an audio engineer longer than I've been a photographer or videographer. So I do have opinions. My opinions about a microphone is the best form of EQ is the right microphone. Unlike in the photography world where we want raw files, we want to maintain as much information as possible, raw files don't look great. We have to go tweak them and make them look great. In the world of audio, I just want to put the right microphone in front of my subject and have it sound good right off the bat. It saves me a ton of time in post. So my overall impression of the DM-E1D is it's a little tinny. I can tweak it in post to make it sound pretty good. It definitely sounds intelligible. It doesn't have a lot of chest in it, a lot of low-end chest in it that I look for in a lot of microphones. I'm sure if you watch this channel, you hear me use this SM7B. So here's what my voice sounds like with the SM7B, and here's as good as I can make it sound with the DM-E1D. You can tell that this microphone sounds a hell of a lot better than that microphone. So that's my opinion. Is it good enough? Yeah, it's good enough. I can tweak it in post. I can make it sound the way I want it to sound, but it's never going to replace my SM7B in the studio. I'm going to be using this guy for the foreseeable future. So you heard what the DM-E1D sounds like in controlled and uncontrolled environments for dialogue. I guess Canon decided to approach it like a raw file and that it's pretty boring out of the box. It requires some post-production EQ, but I found that if I boost it about 110 Hertz and 2000 Hertz, it gives me more body to my voice and a little bit more intelligibility in the consonants at 2000 Hertz. With a little tweaking, you can get it sounding great for speech. But there's one more test I wanted to try before I decide whether or not I'm gonna keep it. I wanna do a B-roll test. I'm gonna do it in the streets of Austin. I'm gonna let the sound just bounce off of the skyscrapers. You can hear the cars go by, maybe hear some birds and maybe some people talking. So let's see how this works for B-roll.
Oh, yeah.
So I went over the features of it, which I consider all to be pros. Let's go over some of the things that I think are cons. One that'll be a deal breaker for a lot of you. $299 is the price of this microphone. You can get microphones for a quarter of the price of this microphone that probably sound just as good. So from an audio quality standpoint, that is not why you're buying this microphone. If you think that you're gonna get superior audio quality from this, I got news for you. Companies like Shure, Sennheiser, and Rode have been making microphones for decades. Some of them have been making microphones for 100 years. So Canon's not exactly going to reinvent the wheel here. They're not going to make some microphone that's going to blow your mind with audio quality. It's going to be about the same as everything else out there. So if you're trying to purchase this for audio quality, I don't think you're going to find this to be a great value. The reason you purchase this microphone is because of the convenient features it gives you. The fact that you don't have to use a cable, the fact that you don't have to use an extra battery, the fact that it automatically sends the audio down to your camera. That is why you buy this microphone. Another con of this microphone, and I can't really blame Canon for it because it has to live on your hot shoe because that's where the terminals are, is you can't float this microphone around. Let's say you're gonna do a briefcase style shot with a handle. Maybe you have a Black Mamba rig and you wanna do a briefcase style shot. You can't put this and the briefcase handle on the top of your camera at the same time. So if you're gonna do a briefcase style shot, you're gonna have to use a microphone that has an 1/8 inch cable, something that floats around. I can't get rid of my Shure VP83 because I like to do briefcase style shots. And when I do that, I can take this guy and move him off to the side, and then I can put my briefcase handle like right here. So that's kind of a bummer. It's not technically Canon's fault. The terminals are where they are. So I'm just either gonna have to evolve the way I shoot, or I'm just gonna have to keep my other microphone for those types of shots. I thank you all for watching this video today. My overall opinion of the Canon DM-E1D is that if you have $300 and you want the convenience, yeah, it's a pretty good deal, but it's not going to do anything groundbreaking in terms of audio quality. There's actually probably microphones out there that sound better than this microphone, so you wouldn't want to buy it for that purpose. $300 is a lot of money for many of you. I really can't recommend this microphone if you're on a tight budget because you're going to get better or equal audio quality for less money. Of course, you have to live with the cons, which is that you have a cable sticking out the side, which we've been doing for years. You have to carry a AA battery around to put inside of here in case you need a spare. That we've been doing for years as well. So you're not really changing the way you've been doing things. It's just you're not getting the convenience of the new way of doing things. So as long as you're cool, kind of doing what you've been doing, I can't really recommend you upgrade to this microphone, but maybe you've got an R3, an R7, an R10, or a R5C, and you want to kind of clean up your setup and have less cables and have less things to carry around. That's when I would recommend you get this microphone. I don't recommend you buy everything that I review. There's a lot of you out there. I don't recommend purchase this mic. I'm purchasing this mic because I do want the convenience and it is worth it to me. But for many of you, it won't be. I thank you for watching today's video. I appreciate the comments, the suggestions, all of you who have been making suggestions for videos. I've been listening. Hopefully I've been delivering on that. I thank all of you for watching today. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button below. I appreciate your support, and until next time, bye.